Oh, it's because I'm gonna call.
What do you mean?
Discord had like something on the UI looked slightly different. I was like, oh, why is that? It's because I'm gonna call. Hey, so when Golden Blade comes out,
Yeah.
part of me wants to see if it double procs on Erlong Dog.
I'm assuming. Like that's why I'm like, they're adding these two items at the same time. It's just gonna make warriors so strong, dude. I might play Erling ADC.
Nah, I doubt you will.
I've done it before. Thanatos ADC, you know? Hey man, I played a mid. In one of the most important games of my life. Okay, yeah, so this game, despite how hard Mason and I go off, we lose because of a couple of decisions made by some people on this team. Now, you know, we did it last game, and I'm going to do it again just so it's 100% clear to everyone that I'm going to pause it right now, actually. So, again, you know, Scylla Crush does 100 damage base before scaling.
Doesn't do anything else. Doesn't have Thanatos like percentage damage. Doesn't do anything.
Like it's got a slow. It's 100 damage in addition
You're right.
to whatever meta ends up building. And I'm pretty sure he goes Spellbook this game. Yeah, he goes Spellbook. So he gets 65 magical power. So
like 120 damage.
Yeah, and then on the buffs, with the mitigations that buffs have when they're prots, you know, that's gonna do maybe 100 or so damage onto the buff. Now, as Ratatasker, you upgrade your Flurry, which means that, you know, you reduce the physical prots of the buff rather than the magical prots. So, you know, Scylla's Crush doesn't do any more damage than it does. And it's also not instantaneous. It is a channeled ability that goes over a longer period of time. Whereas the thing y'all are playing against, you're playing against the Ravon, who puts a point to his 1, which, you know, you're going to be like, oh, only 80 damage. You know, that's obviously less than the amount of damage Scylla can do with their Crush, and the amount of damage you can do the moment you take the protections off the buff with your Cleaves. The problem is, this thing exists, and this thing has its 2, and its 2 makes it so that fucking Ravon's 1 is better on a buff. So they're gonna clear the speed buff really fucking fast. And luckily this game you're like, meta, I'm done with your bullshit, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you realize this. And that's why you upgrade your Flurry in the beginning. I mean, like, probably still not a good idea to just upgrade ability in the beginning, but I mean, I mean, you do realize.
In my personal opinion,
like that what we did last game.
The
only worked out for us.
Realistically, the only character on the map that can put a point into their kit is the ADC, and that's mainly because if they start their movement ability, they lose lane automatically, and they're realistically going to start their clear ability because, you know, they're going to look to poke war. So there's no reason, like on Hui, for example, for me to get my 2 or my 3. If I do, I lose the game. Whereas everyone else on the other side of the map, you know, they have the potential of getting invaded. So there's warrant for them. Like, Enclave doesn't have a point because he's not sure if he's going to be proxying, or if he's going to be playing around invades.
I'm not gonna lie, like, I mean, like, in the rare chance that there is a 4-man invading, right? I feel like you should still just not level up an ability until you at least see them.
Well, yeah, but like most of the time,
yeah,
like,
most of the time,
I'm going to be standing right here. Anyway, like we're just playing like a bunch of shitters. Yeah, you've just submitted to not even helping meta because it's fucking ridiculous, and the meta makes the greatest misplay of the game, where he's standing. So if he determines that I tell him you're a fucking retard, do not steal the speed buff, and he's like, oh, you know, I'll make it back to speed, which he won't. It will just slow your clear down. So I tell him to just stay wave, clear this. Now, we've already been over the fact that Scylla cannot steal a fucking speed buff, so he should be right here. He should crush the wave, cycle back around, crush the wave again, full clear it, leave lane, do a buff, get level 2 at the same time that Morgan gets level 2. Instead, what he does is he stays in wave, clears it after a little while here, and this is while Morgan She just got the bonus XP from all 3 minions on the speed buff by helping the Ravon. Now, still clears wave, right? Morgan has only cleared 1 minion. Ravon, who got help on his speed buff, is currently just barely ahead on clearing this buff than you are. And that's because Ratatasker clear, you know, by himself is pretty fucking good because you have cleave, you have your flurry. But Ravon makes a critical decision. Like you see, he's just barely, like the health bars on the smalls. You're just getting started. He's just about done. He makes the critical decision that pretty much wins in this game of the fact that the mid laner is in mid. The mid laner, when the mid laner starts mid, they have to leave the lane in order to get level 2. If they stay in mid, they lose any kind of pressure from doing this. And meta doesn't know this. So Ravon, after clearing this XP camp, goes to red buff. Because that's where meta should be going. He should be going to the red buff right now. He should have left the moment he cleared so he can clear smalls, he can clear red buff, get the red buff, get level 2, get back to mid with an advantage over this Morgan. Because he has pressure, he has a buff, and he's a little bit ahead of her in XP because he soloed a buff. Instead, what he does is he stays mid.
Yeah, and there's no way Enclave could even know that like Ravon was going to red because Baron went to blue at that exact same time.
Yeah, because
it was honestly like really cool how they did that. Like they all knew what they should do and communicate with each other and like try to make it so we couldn't communicate that Ravon was going to red. It was actually really cool.
And this is the one game that we've played against them where they do not place wards in our jungle. So this is just them going off of the fact that Scylla is in mid.
Yeah, they just know how to play Smite game. It's really cool.
You help Enclave with his blue, which is good. You know, even when meta does this, that's what you should do because it's a Sobek.
He needs it.
He needs the blue buff at the start of the game. Now,
he can't do anything about it.
You made the point to tell me that you communicated with meta that you're going to do left mid camps. And now meta just hit level 2. He hit level 2 after Morgan because Morgan stayed in wave. She got every single minion. She got shared XP on the speed camp. Which means she gets level 2 before him because she's cleared just about 2 waves, and she got XP off of the speed camp, whereas Meta has only cleared two lanes, and that's where he's getting his level 2. And he's like, oh well, Morgan's right here, so I'm gonna start doing damage to her. And then he didn't communicate to you that he wants to kill Morgan. So he's really
like,
just
even though you said you're doing mids, like if he says like gank this thing like right now,
like kill her. She's pressured. You know, she's right next to a minion wave.
I mean, like you can't blink there immediately, but you can.
You can at least like walk around and then get a return kill potentially after what just happens. And Ravon, who changed the way he was gonna start this game more than likely, makes a decision.
He was gonna go to blue,
like he pulled the minion wave to that side so he can quickly step off. But Morgan's like, yo, dude, just go to red. Go to red. We can stop Scylla from doing things.
Yeah.
Because again, it's a Scylla. You know, her clear is awful on buffs at the start of the game. So even had meta gone for this red buff, Ravon, after finishing XP camp, would have been there for big. And he could have, you know, potentially killed meta because he would have been level 2, which means he has his root and his 1. Or he could have just stolen the XP camp, which means meta doesn't hit level 2. And he's then in the enemy jungle where Morgan is level 2, so he dies. And instead he stays in wave, gets level 2 later than the Morgan, tries and fights her, and then Ravon, after meta just obliterates the Morgan's health pool, blinks in, kills him, and then, you know, you're there later than the Ravon because of the way you started. You didn't have help with your speed, and then you weren't on the same path that the Ravon was because Ravon changed it because meta was in the mid lane.
That's funny. Reap3r's gets her faster. If meta helps.
like legit, you would have fucking finished these XP camps and been in mid by the time that Ravon had finished blue and walked this way. Like if meta just started the buff with you, he would have hit level 2 at the right time. He would not have been in a position where he could have been blinked on effectively, and you would have been there, and they could have potentially, y'all could have, like the amount of fucking damage meta did to that Morgan when she had mini aggro was insane.
Y'all had more damage than them. Y'all would just naturally got in the lead just because you guys naturally have more
You have
pressure.
a blink. You could potentially kill this Morgan. You know, you in the other game, you killed their mid laner real easy. It's just meta wanted to be a fucking retard, and then he played it wrong because he doesn't know how to play Smite, kind of thing. And from there, you know, the two of y'all just continue to make misplays, because at this point, meta's tilted. The game, you know, my personal opinion, the game's over at this point. The moment meta gets tilted, he just stops talking, you know, he sighs, and he's like, Reap3r, you help me, and then the game's over.
He just blames you.
You go to the red buff, which is good, because, like Ravon has pressure, and you need to, you know, make sure that they don't steal that, in addition to getting their own red buff. And then you make a decision that is a mistake. So up to this point, you know, up to like 140, every single decision that's been in the enemy team's advantage is because meta made poor decisions. This is a poor decision. Now, if you want to kill the Morgan here, blink onto her. There's no reason to dash on her, for multiple reasons. If you blink onto her, you can dash onto her, get blink slow, which then makes it so that there's very, very, very little chance you miss Acorn Blast. Because even if she goes into her decoy, she's going to be in relatively the exact same spot for you to hit the Acorn Blast. So you're going to stun her in lane and then kill her, because the amount of damage you do to her right now is absurd. But you make the decision that like you're going to catch her off guard, rather than blinking, when you should have just blinked. And then, you know, she kills you because she's ahead. You keep autoing rather than just running, because you wanted to clear the minion wave that you're on, so you don't take much minion aggro, which then led you to take more minion aggro.
And like you do that a couple times this game, or like you just auto for like when you really should not be autoing.
Yeah, and you just consistently give yourself a debuff penalty of autoing. And then, you know, Ravon exists, and he was on the right side of the map, so he just ganks meta, and he has no idea that he's there, and he dies. And
yeah, like meta does not have 3,
the game
so
is over at this point. The game is pretty much over, despite the fact that over here, Mason and I have already killed them both. We killed them both at this point. Like, I'm fucking 2-0, and we're about to kill them again pretty soon here. Like, the decision to try and invade a mid, and then the misplays that followed it, made it so that we lost this game. Because now Ravon, he just, you know, the jungler died and the mid laner died again. So they have plenty of pressure in this lane. So why does Ravon need to be here? Where can he be? Oh, just, you know, helping out the Baron. And at this point, the both of you are tilted. You know, you're tilted that that happened because you felt like you made a misplay, and Meta's tilted because he's garbage. And from here, like, it's just a race to get as much farm in the map as you can, because you don't want to lose it and let Ravon just snowball. Which is what Morgan's doing right now, because Morgan, she's sharing camps with him. Like, Morgan's getting huge.
And we kill him here in duo.
I don't. Oh, you're getting your acorn. Okay. No, we don't kill him here.
Oh.
We kill the Geb pretty soon here though. We force Rama beads there.
You're right.
No, but yeah, like, even despite all that happened there, you are not all that far behind Ravon. The problem is, we don't know where Ravon is right now. Like, the person that has the most idea of where Ravon is on the map is Meta, and Meta's not talking, because he's already died twice, which means he's not going to communicate, which means that when Ravon goes over to left lane, you know, he forces...
You going to seed kind of fucks Enclave.
It really fucks Enclave at this point.
Yeah, because Enclave is a Sobek, and Sobek really fucking needs blue.
Like...
And I guess in beginnings of games, we'll fucking just tell you, like, if Enclave can soul his blue. Enclave soul his blue at level 7 on Sobek. He really needs your help.
Mainly just due to the fact that, you know, his buff clear is bad, and Baron clear for wave is better.
Yeah.
And also, their jungler is ahead of you.
Clear. Like, he you know, like, as a mechanical thing, he's not clearing the wave. Yeah. So he can't even, like, begin to contest. That's mostly his fault on that part.
But like
even in a normal game, like, he can't stop them if they go to blue.
So from this point, realistically, there's no way the speed buff is there. You just picked up your speed buff.
Yeah, they're on the same timer.
You're on the same speed buff timer, so warding that isn't particularly productive because you already don't have pressure, so the likelihood of you being able to steal that speed buff when it spawns is rather low.
Yeah.
And then you choose, rather than to go onto the solo side of the map, you go to the duo side of the map and try and harass the Morgan, I'm pretty sure. Which, you know, Enclave gets blinked upon by the Ravon, and then he loses his blue, and then by that point, the lane is over for Enclave.
And you just want to red to lose your blink again. Like, you're doing the same thing over and over again in every game. You're crossing over that like tier 2 tower area, and you get caught out because of course you get caught out.
Yeah, like their team's gonna communicate. Yeah, like that one game you lost Rat Blink because you had to run away from the people. You lost Thanatos ulti in this game. You know.
It's actually happened every game. And like you didn't get red, and you let Ravon steal Sobek's red. Oh, Sobek's blue, sorry. And then Baron gets his own blue buff. So like, you know, it's really impactful. And the thing that would make this so that it's not worth it is that makes it so that it is worth it, is if y'all steal that speed, but you don't. Now killing Morgan here, this is just like, you know, Morgan just outplays y'all there. Yeah. You probably could have killed her a lot safer than you do. Leaving here is the right call, and then yeah, you got it back.
Meta just makes a mistake of being pathing wise, like he paths into mid wrong. He just forgets that Ravana exists again. You did see Ravana in lane on those minions for a little bit, so you probably could have called him, especially since, you know, this is right here, like this is our ward. So you could have been like, hey Meta, Ravana's coming over, and that could have led him to not path towards mid rather than pathing back towards tower and escaping. And then here you respond to the Baron proxy.
That's really good.
Yeah, y'all end up killing him here.
Like those previous times you were trying to gank solo, they weren't in a position for you to really get ganked. They were still the jungler there. Here, he's by himself, and he's in a position where he can actually get ganked because he's just trapped in between 2 towers. This is really good. This is really good play on.
Yeah, and realistically here, this should be the turning point for the lane for Enclave.
Yeah.
Like this should make it so that he's even. He gets a blue buff, he gets a wave, he gets an assist for a kill, and he gets a little bit of farm time. He just misplays the lane.
He just misplays again, and so you can't do anything off of it.
Meta is really dumb and doesn't understand how pressure in mid works, and he just is free farming. He's literally free. I'd rather have Rick on the team at this point.
If anything, like if he called it out, then you could have ulted, but I really doubt he called it out.
Yeah, but he was probably just playing mid. Like, yeah, we've already made the point where you could ult there and be there faster and potentially save him, but he probably dies 9 times out of 10 there.
Enclave have parents blue.
Yeah. Well, that's because that's when he had that pressure opportunity, and he just didn't go to blue immediately.
He did it really dumb. He needed to ult if you wanted to go to blue. Either ult blue, like you said, or preferably off the wave.
We kill him again, dude. Like, God, we should not have lost this game. Am I 6-0 yet? No, I'm 5-0. This is just awkward, dude.
Yeah, you've gotten all the kills over there too. Like I haven't even stole one. Like that's like the worst part.
Okay, so I'm assuming here you just look to play up onto Morgan.
Yeah, I mean like again like using Acorn in like a really weird fashion.
Yeah, you could have just like tried to break her stealth with your 2.
I mean
but dashing there, like you dash away from Morgan's stun, but then you try and commit to getting the XP camp, which forces you in your ultimate because that's your only way out at that point.
Like if you were afraid she's gonna 2 on you or 1 on you, then you either just dash out or 2, or if you were trying to kill her, then you don't use Acorn, you dash into that direction.
And Enclave gets killed here because he's playing up into a Ravon without wards, and he misplays into a Baron ultimate.
Yeah, there's not much you could do there.
Actually, Baron actually doesn't ult there. They just kill him.
He does not ult there. He just.
Enclave sees the Ravon and then he forgets that he's there.
This is really awkward for me because you don't clear the wave. You don't make a decision. You just wait till Baron comes back, so then Baron can now kill you.
Yeah, and it's almost like you forget that Ravon exists as well.
Yeah.
And right there, you need to dash into that hole in the jungle right in front of you. And instead you make the decision to try and go past them, which just puts you into melee range for the Ravon, and makes it so that they have the opportunity to interrupt your dash. Now that they have pressure so they can get this blue, which also means they can kill Enclave again. And they do.
Enclave's trying to fucking trade with the Ravon right now, which is not a good plan. And he should, if anything, he should just use his abilities, like all of them, including his ults, without using autos.
And then meta doesn't communicate that mid is rotating the left side, so Mason tries to secure the buff for him, and then he gets obliterated by the rotation from mid. And at this point, they're still not ahead of us, just because of what's happening to duo.
The fucking fat ass lead that this UE has is literally covering
dashing
everything.
Onto him again. Like, this is just the exact same play that happened around this mid camp. Like, the moment your ultimate comes off cooldown, pretty much, you lose it again because you do the exact same thing.
There's no way you can kill the Yab.
And dashing to secure a buff is not a wise idea.
It's not a buff to make it's a camp. Like, if it's a buff, it's okay, because, like, they give more XP and...
You need to turn around the moment you see him. The only reason he doesn't kill you is because he's indecisive.
And then we get a double kill here.
Yeah, y'all kill them at mid here. This is a really good dash, because, look, there...
Like, you waited until you could hit the dash, and then you hit it. It was great.
Yeah, and as opposed to when you were trying to pressure onto the Morgan earlier, you use your 2 to clear her invisibility, which means you can consistently have a better chance of hitting your Acorn Blast. And you don't stun her there, but you hit her with 2 of the 3, which means more damage happens, and then meta hits the one thing you can hit consistently. And there you go. The game, we are ahead in positions where we need to be. This gives you all the opportunity to farm, and this makes it so that the lead we have
here, we
is
lose
bigger.
The game because we fucking suck cock. Like,
yeah,
I don't know how
like I pressure out their duel, and then we get a fucking gold fury.
Really should.
We should lose that, yeah, probably. But like,
I don't know why meta
crush early, yeah. He probably thought we were gonna shred it faster. The only place on the map where we're losing right now is the one place that can't come back into the game, and that's solo. But like, we just got meta to a position where he's practically even. And you're actually a level up right now. So we just misplay. We continue to make terrible plays around solo and in mid that just causes us to lose this game. Like, I'm 6-0 at this point. Their ROM is so far out of the game that he is a non-factor.
He'd need a fire giant to come back in.
Or what happens and we just consistently lose fights because we get picked before them or we lose our buffs, which is what happens. Enclave gets ganked again because he doesn't understand how any of their abilities work. Ravon actually walks over a ward there, and Enclave decides that he wants to continue to pressure.
Yeah, Enclave just made it so like.
And then
if
here,
they want to get back in the game,
you are really determined to like maybe kill the Baron because you saw low HP, or secure the blue, but you just make it so that you can get hit by his abilities for free. You don't really make it that much of an intention to even try and juke the abilities. Mason smartly walks away from blue and lets it happen, and then meta loses half of his HP bar because he makes the decision to walk over there. But even then, like, that's only a loss for the place on the map that is losing the hardest. They get a Pyromancer here, which makes it so that the Ravon is even with you, and then the next fight, the Ravon gets ahead of you because he kills everything, I'm pretty sure. Enclave makes a misplay where he can actually get back into the game by killing this Baron. He just misses his abilities. But right here, Meta makes probably the biggest misplay.
The fucking game.
Yeah, she probably makes the biggest misplay of the game right here.
In 2 minutes, and it's insanely aggravating. It is like, it's the worst play I've seen in any of our scrims.
And that's including the blink that you had onto the Ganesh. I'm not sure if you communicated with them that you're not there. You probably, it's fine that it's happening.
I mean, we didn't expect him to be there, to be honest.
Well, I mean, Meta might have. Who knows?
I think Meta was just trying to solo him. So in like like a minute before, I got Morgan bees with my pole.
Yeah, and Geb saved it with the shield. But pretty soon here, they're pressuring, and
you see how Meta's walking down the tier 2 tower?
I'm actually just watching
tier 1 tower.
So he misses his fucking 2, misses his root. He's under a tower when he's ulting. And then because Mason had to overexert himself into a position where his back is to any rotations, they both die. And any semblance of a lead we had there is gone. Now in response to this, you're trying to get Ravon off your speed, which he steals it because he has pressure on the side of the map, and then you're trying to look for a fight to save me here, so you ult in into 5 players and die. So at this point, they just got ahead of us. And they're about to get even further ahead of us because Enclave and I honestly should just give up this T1, but I'm stubborn. And I'm under the fucking idea that I'm 6-0. Literally nothing on their team could fuck with me other than this thing. But this thing still is blink, so I die. Yeah.
If they all use their abilities.
Yeah, if they all use their abilities on me because everybody else is dead, I die. I mean, the big thing is that I ulted wrong, but
you're not wrong. You
like if I just put the ult on me when they were trying to kill me, I would have lived.
I mean, for sure.
And unfortunately for us, the game isn't over at 14 minutes. We have plenty of opportunities to win this game again, and we just dropped the ball. But like, it's just upsetting. Like, you should not have a level lead over our mid laner. And he didn't even come to get those fucking XP camps. He stayed mid. He was not close enough to get that spooling.
Well, yeah, he doesn't go to camps.
This is
wrote that
awkward.
thing in Discord, mostly for Meta and Enclave. Those timers.
Meta takes the red when I ask for it, which is really unfortunate. Oh yeah, like, luckily you secure your speed buff before. Oh yeah, that was the point where I got really fucking pissed at Meta because he took the red buff when I asked for it. He immediately went into lane and died because Geb blinks onto him, ults him, and dies. But yeah, you went there. You went to the speed buff.
It's not his secret. Geb had blink. Like he didn't just get it.
Well, actually,
yeah. I'm assuming you hit a wall.
I don't think he would have hit a wall. I'm pretty sure that's a smite, dude. Like, there's no wall there that he could have hit with that big ass circle.
Well, I thought he was like moving too far to the right and hit like the gold fairy.
That's a potential, but like, who knows? It's just an unfortunate mishap, dude. We steal the gold there if he lands on it.
Oh yeah. Meta 3's here.
Yeah. Meta decides that he wants to try and kill these things instead of farming, when he is legit the lowest level on our team right now.
Well, so in the game, right?
Yeah.
Nah, I think I still am level right now.
Oh yeah, you're level 11. He's level 12. Like, it takes him forever to go mid.
And we don't get that tower because of it?
Yeah. I mean, knowing him, if he goes for the tower, he'd probably just get killed because he stays too long.
He wouldn't go for the tower. He'd try to proxy the next wave and die.
Oh, he'd see more of him run at him, yeah. There's not really much of anything we can do here. You might have been able to 3 had you not used it on the buff, but I don't think you would have been able to get there in time. if you didn't 3. So it's just a kind of there's a trade-off.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good you didn't just fucking try to dash in there into.
Yeah.
Cause that's fire if you do that.
They might not have been feeling confident enough to try and go for an FG because we still have Scylla, but
I mean, you say that.
I mean, they don't know he's terrible.
Are you sure after this game?
Yeah, because we bopped them next game.
Oh, that you can just turn around and run away. You don't have to keep straddling. You know what I mean? You don't have to keep strafing. Just turn around and run away.
Well, Ratatasker, it's really actually hard to tell when you're strafing. He wasn't strafing there, he's just floating.
Yeah,
and he has his camera turned a little bit.
He was strafing. You could easily see it. And he
floating.
was also walking at the same time, but he was strafing. Like, as long as you're running straight forward, you can dodge the Baron too.
Basically, this whole team fight is Meta's in a spot he shouldn't be.
I don't know why you ulted there.
He was gonna die.
He had dash.
I'd just rather him go the safe way. He might have like potentially taken more damage from ulting, but
Exactly.
oh, is this the point where you can save? Yes, it is.
No. No, it's not.
Oh, no, yeah, you die right there. This is the point where we kill the fuck out of Baron, dude.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I think that might be my last kill of the game. No, no. I kill Morgan. But like,
yeah, rat stun is for the stun, not for the fucking
for damage. Yeah, you probably could have killed the Morgan
I
if you
actually
just
think that's your
waited.
problem. You're just not realizing like what it's meant for.
And then you're just way too overzealous and trying to get the kill. I wonder. Okay, no, I make sure to be very, 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 very clear that that red buff is mine. Like at this point in the game, does Meta build Story River though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
we hadn't told him to build Book of the Dead yet, which is what he does next game with his build. But if he builds Book of the Dead this game, we probably have a better chance of winning.
Yeah, either or, I don't think Story River was a play here. It's too early for it. It doesn't do anything.
I don't really feel like Scylla procs it that well.
I mean, that's also true. Like, you should.
You just didn't turn all the way around for that stun, dude. What the fuck? Dashing onto the Geb is really awkward. Like, he still has ultimate. And before you dashed onto him, you could have at least seen or heard that the rest of the enemy team is coming. Oh, we get to see something nutty pretty soon here, dude.
I thought Scylla was gone already.
Yeah.
But, obviously she wasn't. So, I let her die. I also didn't realize just how tanky they were going to be.
Yeah, look at all this. Look at all these misses. I think I hit him like twice. At this point of the game, I'm tilted. Because Meta's just tilted the fucking life out of me, dude. And like, subsequently, you and Enclave are tilting me just because you're playing like, not well. It's making me sad.
On the real, Enclave is playing like dog shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we didn't know that. Like,
that's
we didn't know
that's
how
why
he was playing his lane phase, so we didn't know that he was just playing absolutely horrifically.
Like, you're playing bad, but because like, okay, one, I think you just don't get the idea of Reap3r, and sometimes like Smite is fucking you itself with your ults. Your decision making is bad sometimes, and you miss dashes that can end up.
The majority of this game, I'm putting this on Meta, dude. Meta just fucks the mojo of the team immediately. Like, the decision for Meta to do what he did in the beginning of the game means that you guys miss out on an opportunity to be even and then potentially get a first blood. But really, like, the biggest issue that you have this game is dying to the Morgan when you don't blink on her at the start. After she kills
your decision making is going off the basis of like you hitting everything, but like it seems like you rarely hit everything. I will be honest with you. because like, if it's okay if you miss an ability, but like if you're gonna base your decision off hitting like a rat stun, like rat stun is kind of hard to hit. And,
it's very hard to hit.
And and you're dashing. But
assassin abilities are the hardest abilities in this game to hit.
Yeah. So you're just going based off that, and a lot of times it's without the help of somebody. If you just go with the help of somebody, like your missed ability becomes okay. Like there's a Chinfu game we were watching earlier where Chinfu was Agni, and you were still rat, and you missed a rat stun, but because Chinfu's there, it cleans it up.
And a large part of that is the fact that, in the earlier game, even if he had missed, if it was Chinfu mitting, y'all would have been able to pick up kills just because he's in a position where he understands that you play this game as a team rather than an individual.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you don't understand that, I'm saying meta doesn't.
I don't know if that made you feel any better.
Probably not.
We're telling you play the bad, but not dog shit. But 2 people in this game are playing like dogs.
You didn't play like you didn't. You're playing the 3rd best right now on the team. But I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, Reaper. Like the way that the other 2 are played, it's not all that much of an accomplishment. Okay, so we already went over this. These wards are not this important.
Yeah, you can just run away and you'll dodge.
You don't have to look at them. You can ult out of base there.
Unstoppable.
Yeah, rather than ulting like right in front of them. I mean, it's your way out, but I think you go back in. Yeah, you do.
Oh no.
Oh, look at that bounce.
Yeah, well, okay, so like the biggest problems I'm seeing with these games, you are ulting with your global pressure ults, and I've seen it in the Thor games, I'm now seeing it in the Riot games.
You ult when you're in
the
rather than
games.
ulting in.
Yeah, you're just not using your abilities how they're meant to be.
Yeah, you're not using your global pressure ultimates to be able to hit people before they know that you're there.
So like, yeah, if this doesn't change, I guess what we're doing is fucking just having you play
non-combats.
Assassins. Because I mean, we'll get you to do that, but don't you worry about it, mate. Like, if rat stun's too hard to hit, I mean, like, if you don't really like feel like going over, like, we can just. There are a lot of other junglers that are viable. They're really good, and they work well.
It's just like Ratatasker gives us so much pressure at pretty much every point in the game because you have the ability to ult from a large portion of the map. You're incredibly fast. Your clear is really good. Your damage is insane.
Yeah. Like the times that you do ult to us, we can bait ourselves. Like that one Gab game I had where I tried to bait myself. You just plop on the Medusa while she was ulting. You just kill the shit out of her, and we get like I think we get gold off that.
Yeah, that was the Cupid game where we killed them around this purple buff.
But like in the games that you don't make use of your global pressure, in the games that you don't make use of the other things that your abilities do besides damage, and the games you miss your movement abilities or
yeah, like basically that fight on Phoenix there, you limit yourself to one option of how you get out. Like most of the time, I've explained it to Mason the way that I think about it is that when you're trying to make a play or you're trying to go in, you need to leave yourself with an escape option. Like a way that you make it so that the play comes together and you actually succeed. So if you want to try to engage on them on that Phoenix, your play should be you ult out of base, land on them, then use your abilities. That's one option. The other option, if you don't want to ult out of base, is that you blink in rather than dashing in. So you still have your dash to get out, and again, these wards are not this important. You lose your ultimate for free.
And that just makes it that much harder to
defend. You lose your Magi's, right? Yeah, or you don't have Magi's. His mantle. But like now we don't have ultimate for Phoenix defense, and you are engaged if we want to engage. You are incredibly good peel if you want to peel because you have a knock-up. Knock-up is the strongest form of CC in this game. This blink is really good. It makes it so that it forces their hand and it gives me an opportunity to make a play. problem is Enclave fucks up.
Yeah, like this is
like that play there, that makes it so that it's incredibly easy for us to defend. Everything's going right, and they don't get Phoenix. But Enclave dashing and dying there.
That thing well. Like they honestly just got grouped up into Huey ults, and when you blinked on them, they were just focused on you. Even if you didn't hit anything, they were just focused on you.
Yeah, like Meta didn't hit ultimate. That's how the defense.
He didn't hit it too. Like.
So by Enclave dying there, it kind of forces my hand that we need to make this happen. And
yeah, if we just
even if I die here, I have an escape plan. Like earlier from what I was saying is that you would need to ult at base and then use your actives to get out. My escape plan there is not to beads. My escape plan is to use my Bloodforge as an opportunity to make that actually happen. Unfortunately, I missed 3 autos, but I still kill one of them. And
yeah,
Bloodforge.
That guy, I'm pretty sure we just lose the game.
Like, killing the Morrigan makes it so they don't lose. Killing the Rama makes it so I live, kind of thing. And I'm 100% cognizant of how that's gonna go down before I even do it, and while I'm doing it. Like the fact that I have Bloodforge means the moment I kill one of them, I have one more opportunity to auto. Problem is I missed the auto, but even then, you know, killing the Morrigan there and almost killing the Rama and forcing his actives means that they have to leave. You know, unfortunately, because of the decision Enclave made, we don't keep the Phoenix, but we keep, you know, them from taking 2 Phoenixes and potentially ending the game. Okay, so Baron ults there, and now that you say that you want to go on Rom, I have no idea why you even thought that going on Rom was an idea. That was a possibility, because you can.
Looking at it from your point of view, like there was no fucking way you could have done that.
Like, Baron's right there. As you're ulting over, you know, you could visibly see Geb in a second, and then, you know, obviously the Ravon's there, because where else would the Ravon have been? So if you do ult there, like we already went over it, the best option for you is to just ult onto the Baron, and then go away from him. Or Meta can follow up with damage, because his ultimate had just gotten up, and you can potentially kill him.
Yeah, Meta can't kill him. He has no damage yet. Meta still has not bought pen.
Yeah, fuck, you're right.
Like whenever he throws a 2 on somebody, look how much damage they lose. It's nothing.
Yeah, especially when they can heal. Meta also upgrades his abilities wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had like put points into Sentinel earlier in the game.
He had 2 points in Sentinel, 2 points in Crush, and 2 points in his Root at one point.
Meta is basically just counterproductive for us this game. And then it's incredibly annoying for me because next game he's like, I did it, boys! And I'm like, you know, I want to be there for your highs, but you gotta be accountable for your lows. You can't, like, he's just like, can we just not go over this game? Like, no, I don't want you to not think that the games where you are the reason we're losing, we don't go over those. Like, we need to go over those games. Because those are the games you can learn the most from. The problem is, Meta doesn't want to learn anything. Like, he's had these kind of performances before, and we've said what's happened, and we've gone over it with him, and it still happens. He just doesn't particularly care. Like, at least you and Enclave, like, even if y'all make poor decisions in game, or like you don't build properly, or mechanically you're less inclined, you learn from it and you take your lumps and you're like, okay,
like,
I'm gonna try.
It feels like even if we don't go over it, you'll learn at least. You'll remember some of the misplays you do, and you'll learn from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Again,
the only ones you don't learn from.
I think you blink in here. I'm pretty sure if you do go in, you're gonna end up blinking in here. When in reality, you have an ultimate. Like, you can ult over. There's no reason for you to dash in. If you land there, you could probably, like, if you ult in there, you can kill both the Morrigan and the Rom. Easy.
Yeah, and then
very, very easily.
After I die.
But you just make the decision, like, you don't even end up using your blink aggressively, you use it defensively. Like, you could have blinked in there rather than having a dash, or you could have just ulted in, use your CC, and kill both their squishes.
Yeah, that fight was just a 4v5 until 2 people of us died, and then you went in.
Yeah, so, like, a large part is that you could have used global ulti to get there faster, and it could have been a lot more effective. Because if you kill both their squishies, they probably don't kill Mason, they don't kill you, which means y'all can have an opportunity to defend against a Sylvanas and a Geb Irvon, which means you don't lose the game there. So just like, you know, as Mason said, using your character's kit as it's supposed to be played. And that's not saying that you have games where you don't do that. Like, there's games where you do that. Consistently you do that, like on Thanatos. I mean, occasionally you do just kind of alt in front of things, but that isn't always that much of a misplay. Like, if you have the opportunity to alt right in front of something and then land back down on them, you know, it works. But when it comes to team fighting, when it comes to getting around the map, you need to be able to use the global ultimate, and you need to be able to recognize when it's
sometimes
necessary.
it's like you can't kill a thing. Like, you can't get them 40% HP on your own, so you team fight first, and then when they get below 40%,
then you ult. But like with Ratatasker and Thor, and
there's almost never any reason to not ult in.
Yeah, you could just ult
for some of them. Like, they don't have any, like, with Thanatos you have that utility of like being able to like insta blow somebody up, but like some of the other ones, like not having a knock up in the beginning of the fight with or not having a stun in the beginning of the fight with Thor. Like, there's really no reason to not have that, except in the times of thinking where you're thinking like, oh, we're gonna fight this fight. Some of them might get away. Some to go chase them down after that. And I like I remember you had this one Thor game where you went through the Giannis portal and you got impaled by Honor, so you had to defensively ult. But you had that kind of thinking, and like, all that happened was just like you underestimated like on her damage. But like that line of thinking was the correct way to do. Like, you thought about what you wanted to do, and it was really great. That was actually really a heads up play. Even though like it didn't turn out the way like we wanted it to, like you still thought about like possible outcomes.
Yeah,
that was really awesome.
Alting things. There's no reason not to.